What happened today?
I don't know. He was just fine. We were fine.
When you say we were fine, what time did you see him when he was alert?
We had a drink together at 9 to celebrate something at work tomorrow.
Okay.
We went to bed. I went to bed with my kids. He went to bed in our bed.
What time did you guys go to bed?
9:30.
9:30? Okay.
9:45.
And then what alerted you to him today, right now?
You know, when I just woke up, I always, when I sleep with my kids, I'll wake up and I go back in my own bed.
Mm-hmm.
I just crawled over on his side.
And he was laying in bed? Okay.
He was on his back on the bed, and
Okay. And he was on, you said he was on his back?
Welcome back to Justice 4. We're your hosts. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Sam.
All right. Welcome to our recap of the first week of Kouri Richins' trial for the murder of her husband, Eric.
Yeah.
If you have been around here since season 1, you know that Kouri is one of my,
I was trying to explain this to someone, last week. And I was like, this is her thing. This is her baby. I'm like, no, that's weird.
Is it like Rome? This is her, ancient, what is it?
Your Roman Empire?
My Roman Empire, yes. This is one of my Roman empires. I've shut up about this case for 3 years.
I mean, we'll get into it a little bit more, but I know, during opening statements, one thing came out, and I texted her, and I'm like, has that been out? And she's like, I'm screaming.
I would like to take this moment right now to say, so far through 1 week of 5 weeks of trial, yes, this might be a 5-week trial, guys. Buckle up. There's only one thing we didn't know about so far.
Yeah.
So far, there's only one thing, and it's a big one.
Oh my!
And I cannot.
It came out so early.
I couldn't remember if it was in the Natalie Cochran trial or Natalie Cochran episode or in Eric's episode. They're very similar cases.
I get them confused all the time.
You do get them confused sometimes. But you said in one of those episodes, and as soon as I heard this in opening statements, you said, did she have a boyfriend? And I adamantly went, no, she doesn't. It's nowhere. And you went,
we should have checked.
Okay. It was in one of those episodes, if not both. But I vividly remember you asking me, and I very confidently, with my entire chest, told you no. And it was in both of those episodes, because Natalie didn't have a boyfriend either. But that actually stayed at trial. So...
Spoiler alert.
Let's get into it, because it's literally my next sentence. So, day 1 was Monday, and the prosecution came out swinging in their opening statements, revealing that Kouri had a boyfriend, Josh Grossman.
Deadass.
And she was texting with him just hours before Eric's death. Kouri texted him a picture of, not them kissing, but a little gif of Spencer and Toby from Pretty Little Liars kissing, and it says, I love you on it. I'm dying. One day we might quit referencing Pretty Little Liars in episodes, but we will not. Never.
At this point, I know Pretty Little Liars isn't around anymore. They'll probably do a reunion. Just sponsor us.
We've got it. We've got you. We will be there. She texted Josh, I love you. He texted, I love you back.
Gross.
She then went off to supposedly celebrate with Eric on the closing of that mansion that Eric wanted nothing to do with, if you remember our episode. Mm-hmm. And she ended up sleeping in their son's room because he had a night terror, which this has been proven, that he does have night terrors, before returning to the room at 3 a.m. where she found Eric dead. And we have body cam footage of her telling this to the officers. And it showed how she was acting, which... honestly, I can only describe as C-list acting at best.
Yeah.
She keeps her hands on her face 95% of the time, and she sounds upset and frantic. There's sobbing, but there's no tears.
I also want to stress that the keeping her hands on her face 90% of the time, her head was also down that entire time as well.
But we do
except for
twice. We do have a special clip of her looking like a deer in the headlights.
It was magical. Fun. So it was a magical moment.
We are going to talk way more about that body cam footage in a little bit with the officer on the stand who we played it with. I definitely have a few clips for you guys in that I have over 30 minutes of body cam footage that I will be releasing once I figure out how to release those videos right. Look for it on our YouTube, but I am going to be releasing a lot of this body cam footage since it is now all public, and we can.
I got to watch a lot of it.
Also, in the prosecution's opening statements, there was a lot of text messages between Kouri and Josh. Kouri and Eric, and Kouri. Yeah, just between those three.
Yeah.
What her text
They
messages
didn't
were.
bring the other ones up until later.
Kouri and Josh were getting ready to go on a cruise.
What is it with these people going on cruises together?
I have no idea.
Because that literally happened in our last episode.
Yes. So it's just the boyfriend. There's a boyfriend. We knew that the
boyfriend.
And honestly, like, how could there be more to this case? We've had 4 years of more and more and more stuff coming out. The defense really focused on there being no direct proof that Kouri administered the fatal dose of fentanyl. That's the only time I'm going to say that because YouTube really likes to flag that word. From here on out, I'm just going to say opioid F, and we're going to all know what that means, but I want this video to last one day. So they stress that the case is built largely on circumstantial evidence, and rather than eyewitness testimony or definitive forensic proof tying her to the exact act of poisoning him.
Mm-hmm.
To paint a history of Eric's alleged history of prescription meds and possible prior drug use, a lot of focus was on THC gummies. So much on them. They suggested the possibility that he could have obtained and ingested the opioid F himself, either knowingly or unknowingly, opening the door to accidental overdose as an alternative explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, we knew this was coming. We knew this is how it was going to go. She was building up a drug history. Remember, the walk the dog letter to her mom, which does not come up in week 1, by the way. We're all waiting for it. But in there, she talks about her mom planting the evidence of him having drug use, you know?
I know we're going to touch on this part a little bit later, and if you guys haven't watched the trial or the body cam footage or anything like that, you'll find out eventually. But what really stuck out to me is her mom was there and kept being like, oh, well, he got allergy shots. He had his allergy shots. What about his allergy shots?
Yeah.
He had a reaction to that, right?
Yeah. Well, and we'll get into that more. But yeah, so just kind of keep that. Kouri is very heavily pushing this narrative that, oh, and you guys are going to see this narrative being pushed in body cam footage as well later.
Yes. Oh, I had a moment. You probably won't see it, but Jen, you're going to see it. I'm sitting here after we got done talking about the boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting here. I had a full realization, and I'm like, they're going to have him testify.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't fucking wait for that moment.
Oh, yeah, most definitely the boyfriend's going to testify. I have no doubt in my mind.
He's going to testify. The mom's most likely going to testify.
Yeah.
Do you think the mom will testify?
Oh, yeah.
For defense?
You know what? Just wait till the end and talk about that. All right, day 1 witnesses to start off were pretty rough. We started off with Eugene Richins, which is Eric's dad. And even though it's been 4 years, he was still extremely emotional when describing Eric, how he was raised in their relationship and
That's
the family
his kid.
dynamic. I know. But, like...
It's crazy that people have emotions for people they love.
Well...
Kouri.
The first, 2 hours is all the emotion you really get in this trial, minus, a whole day later.
For now.
I mean, it was just really hard to watch his dad on the stand. It's always hard to watch the parents or the siblings on the stand. But they did ask him to review some handwriting samples of Eric's, some legal documents, and some other things. After him was Kouri Richins Benson, which is Eric's sister. If you remember from our episode, Kouri and her threw hands. We did not discuss this while she was on the stand, but I know it's coming.
God, I hope so.
She was also extremely emotional when describing her and Eric's relationship. Honestly, watching her in the body cam footage and watching her on the stand was hard. It's probably one of the hardest testimonies I've ever had to watch.
I wouldn't be surprised if they call her back up.
Oh, they will be. They told her that she's still in it, but she can still watch the proceedings. Or they wanted to call her back up. There's a whole thing about her, and the prosecution is like, the reason we called her second was so she could watch the rest of the trial. And so, if you guys wanted to call her, you needed to do this. And so, I'm not entirely sure, but she is allowed in the courtroom because I saw her on Friday in the gallery. If you remember, she is the power of attorney for the trust for Kouri and the boys. And they really went in on her using the trust to fund a financial investigation into Kouri and Eric's finances. She spent $14,000 out of the trust to pay for this. That wasn't looking the best, but also because their family has a lot of money, so I don't know.
Okay.
She was also shown handwriting samples of Eric's signatures, and in the cross-examination with the defense, Katie was accused of lying about Kouri not consoling her or really coming over to her while she was collapsed on the floor the morning Eric died in the house. And they then, because Katie was adamant, she just stood in the corner and she didn't console me, she didn't do anything while I was on the floor crying. And then the defense played body cam footage showing the exact opposite of this.
Oh, shit.
As you're watching this clip, there's an officer there, but that's Kouri right there, right? And she's squatting down to hug you. Is that right? Katie, could you play that again?
I'm sorry, this is hard with two Katies.
There are two Katies. I'm sorry. I'll call you Ms. Richins Benson. How
Okay,
about that?
thank you.
Okay. Okay, so that's Kouri. Freeze it right there, Katie Nestor. Okay, and that hair right there, that's what you're saying she had fixed? Just her hair up and messy like that?
Yeah, as you can see, mine was down and messy and didn't have contacts in and anything.
Sure. So both of you had messy hair, and she's also clearly wearing pajamas. Does that...
That's very interesting, though, because also, like, in those moments, you are so emotional, and generally you black out things, like, very, like, I couldn't tell you in some of my darkest moments who consoled me.
Yeah.
Genuinely, I couldn't. Like, who came over, who was hugging me, because I'm, in my own mind, and if she's on the ground crying, how the fuck would she know?
Yeah. So it's just...
Interesting.
Yeah, it was just very interesting, but
The
defense.
The defense is trying to
They're-
paint her out to be just a
lying
straight up
about
liar.
things, yeah, and make her seem a little bit sketchy about things
Yeah.
because she's the holder of the trust. So after Katie's testimony, her husband, Clint Benson, took the stand.
Mm-hmm.
And he was called to the stand. This man is all business, all right? Like, he is very much like, he's the guy in the family who gets shit done.
Period.
Who has the paperwork, does the things, you know, like the deadlines, all this. Like, if you want shit done,
That's who you're going to.
Yeah, you're going to go to him. He's a no nonsense kind of guy. Like,
Period.
down to business, keep it straight. And you could tell that on the stand.
Yeah.
Right? So he actually helped Eric contact that divorce lawyer. And after Kouri played her forgery games with the life insurance and Eric's business, Eric called Katie, like, super upset and everything. And they were like, just come over to the house. By the time he got there, Clint had a divorce lawyer pulled up. All of this stuff for him, right? Like, someone he knew personally who could handle this. And he basically became the middleman. So he was handling all the documents that the lawyers and attorneys needed. Everything was going through his email, so Kouri couldn't find it. So we discovered Kouri and Eric would go through each other's phones a lot. So it's not a surprise that he needed Clint to be doing all of this for him.
Yeah.
So in the end, as in our episode, he decided not to go through the divorce and just kind of change the trust and put Katie as the power of attorney and all of that. But do you remember something about a safe not being unlocked and him and Katie and Kouri getting into that fight?
Yes, because of the
and
safe, yeah.
Locks being changed?
Yeah.
Well, Clint, within hours of Eric's death, had a locksmith out there changing the locks on the house. He installed cameras, interior and exterior. He said if a fly was crawling on the floor, it would signal his phone.
You know what? I bet motherfucking anything. Eric probably told him, if something happens to me, do X, Y, Z.
Remember,
I
he'd been telling
guarantee it's
people.
her.
So, not only that, Clint accompanied anybody who went in and out of that house from that day forward. Nobody was in or at that house without him being there with them.
God, I
if
like
the
Clint.
boys needed something, he went in and got it for them.
I like Clint a lot.
Don't we?
What a good man.
So,
That's a man's man right there.
yeah. Which also is the reason why the house was actually searched on a search warrant 10 times, with the last time being 2 weeks before trial started.
Holy shit. Has it just been sitting there this long?
He's had it locked up and sealed, other than the stuff he's taken out for the kids and other things.
Motherfucking Clint. Look at you. Good for him.
Right?
He's like, ain't shit gonna get contaminated up in this bitch. Period.
So, with all of this going on in here, there's a few comments on the Court TV feed that was like, so this is what happens when you have a lot of money and somebody dies of an overdose. You get to throw a lot of money out of it and make an investigation out of it.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so people were just like, basically like, since he locked it up within hours, they were like, oh, so they were trying to put this with her from the beginning, and it pays to have enough money to do this. Right? Yeah, Court TV's comments were a little wild in here during this. Like, I thought that was a very interesting take on this. Because that's definitely not what I thought. I just see it as a family, like, trying to protect evidence if there is. And, psst, I know it hasn't been brought up in court, really. Oh, wait. it has been in text messages that she poisoned him on Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Allegedly. There's also a text message that proves, there's a text message saying, and I'll put it right here, that says, I don't know what they're freaking about. I was with him all day on Valentine's Day. He ate the sandwich. He didn't even break out in hives, blah, blah, blah. And her phone data proves that she was actually with her boyfriend
Of course
during
she was.
that time.
Of course she was with her boyfriend on Valentine's
So, I
Day.
mean, there's a little bit more to this than just a rich family locking up the house after he died.
Yeah.
The last testimony of day one was Vincent Nguyen, and one of the responding officers, and his body cam footage is actually the body cam footage that we have for a lot of this. It all came out of his testimony. So we're going to play a few of those clips right here for you that we've been talking about.
No. Any history of prescription abuse? No.
I mean, when he was in high school and stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Pain pills, I think.
Or maybe a reaction to his shots yesterday.
I mean, he said he didn't feel good from them. Like,
He didn't look good last night.
he looked pale last night, and I asked if you were okay, and he said yeah, but he was saying his chest was hurting, but
Does he have any history of illicit drug use or anything in the
no,
past year?
no, never.
Okay.
Who told the boys? Kouri said a cop told him. Why would you tell a child?
No, they shouldn't have told him. I asked everyone
Oh.
not to tell him.
They all know. They told me.
How do they know?
Well, Carter told me, a cop told me.
Would they have told him?
No, I wouldn't think.
We were in there, so we were maybe a fire
Do they
department.
know?
Maybe they, yeah, they
Oh
know.
my freaking god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I want... Oh my god.
God, that number just kept ringing this morning, and I'm like,
Yeah, because we couldn't find her phone.
I thought somebody called from his cell phone, and then when you Google it, it says it's a spoof number. I'm like, what? I'm gonna go up here to these people.
Mom, is the door closed, my room?
Yeah.
Yes, we-
They won't let me. Is he still in there?
So I'll explain to you what the process is right now. Because he was in good health and his age and everything like that, okay? Our medical examiner is going to come and do their investigation real quick, and then also our detective, just to make sure that everything's documented, correctly. And then from there, they'll explain to you what's going to happen. Most likely, what I'm thinking, because he has no serious health problems or anything like that. His age, most likely they're gonna take his body to the
Oh my god.
medical examiner's office just to make sure that there wasn't anything else.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any questions for me right now?
No. He had allergy shots yesterday.
Yeah, and then and
Said
that's
he
what
wasn't
she was
feeling
saying.
good last night when I was here.
What kind of allergy shots? Do you know?
All right, so as you can see in those clips, Kouri
Yeah.
spends a lot of time with her hands and her head in her hands, and it sounds like she's sobbing, but there's no tears, there's no nothing. And
I actually kind of noticed a smirk on her face.
yes,
Like, I didn't say that when you were showing me that. Also, I haven't watched trial, so y'all are learning this at the same time as me. Or I'm learning it with you. I don't know. Same.
Yeah.
Same. But yeah, I saw, like, I forgot what she was talking about. Now, I think she was talking about, like, the boys or something like that. And she, like, is like this and looks up and is like,
yeah. Then the
The
only
fuck?
time that you really get her head out of her hands is when she gets that deer in the headlight look.
Yeah.
Because the officer's talking about taking his body for autopsy and
Because they have to.
investigating because they have to because it's a suspicious death, and that's when she's like that. But also, Lisa, why can't we just let there be silence? Why do you suddenly have to talk about that phone ringing all the time?
Lisa,
And so bring that
why
up.
are you there? Why are you talking?
And Lisa, I get it. She called her mom. She needs her mom.
I mean,
her
valid.
husband just died and her mom lives nearby. I get that, and they're really close. But also, Lisa, why are you bringing up his allergy shots and bringing up that he looked pale
Over.
last night?
And over.
Over and over
And
again.
over.
Also, this is the time I'll bring it up. I do not have any solid proof on this. If you Google it, it will tell you a little something, but we don't really have sources. I've seen screenshots in Facebook groups. I've seen comments on Court TV's live feed.
It's all alleged.
Allegedly, I think in 2002, or later than that, one of Lisa's boyfriends died in a similar fashion to Eric. So there's a little speculation here why Lisa's so close to this. But we're going to find out in the next 4 weeks if she was.
I mean, maybe.
But I'm just letting you guys know, these are discussions that are being had. These are things that are being brought up, and I'd never heard of that before. Honestly, hearing it a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. So,
The thing is, though, like I said, apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Allegedly.
The other thing that keeps being brought up a lot is Eric having Lyme disease.
Yeah.
Lyme disease is something you can live with. You take a medication for it.
Yeah.
Some people didn't realize that some of these medications that you use for Lyme disease are also like antipsychotics and other things. But
I don't have Lyme disease, and I have those.
yeah, so we'll get into more of that. But Lyme disease is being brought up so much, and it's brought up by Kouri in the body cam videos. I think there's a couple times she brings it up in there.
And the EMTs also brought it up.
Yes, because she was telling them about it. So day 2 of trial started off with the continuation of Officer Vincent's testimony. And then we had David Pimentel, a Summit County Canine Patrol deputy. He took the stand and talked about what he found in the Richins house the morning Eric died. They showed body cam footage. I would show this to you, but honestly, like, it's the top of a toilet and this much of a cabinet and him talking about stuff, and then he goes stands in front of a mirror with a medicine bottle and writes things down. Basically, they did this to show that he only found meds in the bathroom. In the medicine cabinet, he did not find any THC gummies at that time, and he said that he saw no THC gummies in his search of the house the morning Eric died.
What?
He specifically found no THC gummies anywhere in the searches he was doing. Now, this is where I would like to point out...
With a dog?
No, he didn't have a dog. He's just a canine officer. This is where I want to point out. Because, I don't know, the defense had to have this explained to them by a witness like 3 times. The morning of Eric's death, the search that was done on the house is not a search warrant search, okay? You are not doing as in-depth of a search as you would with a search
They're
warrant.
doing
okay?
surface level searching.
They are surface level searching. So the defense really hammered in on the fact that nobody went downstairs. No one knew there was a kitchen downstairs. Nobody went in the kitchen. Nobody collected Moscow Mule cups. Nobody looked in the trash can. No one did that. They weren't going through drawers and doing this because it wasn't a search warrant. You can only search what you're allowed to search.
Yeah.
But then the defense was like, but you didn't go up to Kouri and ask, can I go downstairs? Can I search in the kitchen? And they were like, no, we didn't. Like, but also in their defense at this time, they weren't thinking she murdered him.
Correct.
They were thinking this was suspicious and an overdose. They
Yeah.
weren't looking for, oh my God, did she put something in a drink?
Yeah. They walk in, they see a body, and they're like, 1, let's try to resuscitate. Not happening. Oh no. Look around, see what it could possibly be.
Yes, and they're mainly looking for prescriptions and
Yeah.
meds and stuff. They're not going to think that he drank something and now those cups are sitting in there and they need to go find it.
Correct.
So in hindsight, this all looks horrible. But if you look in the moment, it's not.
Yeah.
So, in his search that morning, there was no THC gummies found. We have those prescription bottles that were found, which we'll get into more later. Then we had Margaret Offret, who goes by Maggie, and she is a medical assistant coordinator at the University of Utah. But at the time of the murder, she was the Park City Fire part-time EMS. So she was on this as a responding officer, but she also is like very skilled in like medical assistant, like all of that. We got a hell of a background in
Hell yeah.
what she does. She's good at it. She was discussing Eric's positioning when she arrived on scene, focusing on him being pulled to the ground from the bed using the sheet like instructed by 911. That was normal. But she thought it was weird that he was at the foot of the bed and not off to the side of the bed, because in her experience on the many calls that she's gone to like this, they will pull off from the side of the bed because it's easier, as opposed to pulling all the way down and risking them hitting their head going down like that instead of just one like, pull off, you know?
And also,
There was no pillow at the foot of the bed, by the way, underneath his head, just so y'all know.
also generally at the foot of the bed, especially in, not to be an asshole, but like higher class homes, they have crazy bed frames.
Or like a bench, or...
Yeah.
And their bed was pretty high up, too. You can see it.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
And it's also easier to pull them from the side instead of pulling all the way down.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull as far.
Also, on top of it, how do you normally get into the bed? From the side?
Yeah.
That's how you get out of bed as well. Why wouldn't you? Like, it just,
Doesn't make sense.
no.
So Eric's body was also very straight.
Yes.
Like, his legs were straight, his arms were straight. He
I
was
think-
straight.
I think the most I saw was like one arm,
But
which is out just a little bit, not like straight at his side.
And, like, nothing was bent. And she was kind of, like, implying it meant that he wasn't in a sleeping position, that he was just laying straight. She also testified about how Kouri reacted to being given the news that her husband died. Like Officer Wen, she said she wasn't acting like someone whose husband is dead or could be dead. She was just like, they even asked, like, you've seen people throw up, you've seen people drop to the ground, scream, all this. And she was like, I've only ever seen someone throw up one time. She was like, but yeah, it wasn't a normal reaction.
Yeah. I have to play devil's advocate just because of other cases that we've done, and one that you will hear later this month.
Yeah.
Everyone grieves differently. Everyone handles news differently.
They do.
So, like, yeah, they're not acting normal in certain people's eyes, but that just could be how they handle things.
Which is true, but I'm bringing it up because Officer Wen brought it up, and
Correct.
and she brought it up, and also another
That's
paramedic did. So it's just something that they just brought up.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I
I'm
get
with
it.
you. Everybody does react and grieve
Yes.
very differently.
However, knowing what I know about this case, fuck that bitch.
Yes.
I understand.
So I'm actually going to play you a clip of Maggie talking to Officer Wen on his body cam in the hallway about Eric and, like, what they found and everything.
There's a lot of blood for some unknown reason.
Were you first on scene?
We were second. The Southside fire guy was here before us.
And there was blood before they...
A little bit coming out as soon as we start doing compressions with the Lucas. It's when the blood came out. So.
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
No pulse or anything?
No, he was cold. I think he'd been down a while. Not a long time, but he'd been down a minute. He was asystole the whole time, so.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Pretty young.
Yeah.
Maybe took some gummies.
Yeah, that's what you were
That's what
saying.
she said. And then the hydrocodone. I think there was hydrocodone or something. From
It was
96 or something.
2016.
2016, yeah. Pretty old.
Did he take that?
We don't know. It was
It's
sitting
in-
there though.
It's in the drawer right there.
There's something.
It
What
is.
is this right here? Is that it? Where he's taken for Lyme disease?
Yeah.
Not Chuck's.
Sergeant just looked at it and said it was filled in 2016.
Yeah, that one.
Is that under his name? I think he sleeps on that side of the bed, though.
With what?
I don't know.
That might be hers. Is it in
It's
his
his.
name? Oh.
So one thing I haven't really talked about yet is there's some focus on blood coming out of Eric's mouth. And we kind of knew about that in the episode a little bit, but we were confused about it. So
I'm still confused. Not really. I understand.
we're going to talk about it a little bit later with the medical examiner. But there's question about whether or not Kouri actually had done CPR before they got there. We had that in our episode. With an overdose, there's going to be foaming at the mouth. There shouldn't necessarily be blood. So the blood part is confusing. It could have been from the tube in his throat when they put it in for CPR, or it could have had to do with him overdosing.
It maybe also could have been from her dragging him off of the bed on the wrong side and smacking his body on things that shouldn't have been smacked on. There probably would have been bruising, though.
Yeah. So, I mean, but they're going to expect that bruising with her pulling him off the bed.
That's totally valid.
So it's just, she brings it up in the clip. It is something that gets brought up a lot, and I'm going to talk about it more here in like half a paragraph. So
I'm curious, just because I've never personally looked into what happens to the body on the opioid overdose. Like,
I'm about to talk about it.
like what it does to a body?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, say less. Go on.
Okay. So, after Maggie was Andy Crinch, Crnich. I need more. Rnich. I need more vowels.
Weird.
He was a sergeant in the jail at the time of the murder, and he was also a first responder for a volunteer fire department, so he was there as EMS and not as an officer. And he also searched for meds in the house and found no THC. Maggie Mobley, she also testified she's a morgue clerk responsible for receiving and releasing the decedents as well as taking phone calls. They basically had her up there to show that the bag was tagged and sealed when it left the house, and that it was bagged and sealed when she got it, and it was bagged and sealed when she let it go again, and to make sure that nothing else was messed with the body. Then we got Pamela Sue Ulmer, the medical examiner and forensics pathologist. She performed the autopsy. She did a COVID test because we were still in active COVID times.
Yes, we were.
And he had just gotten over having COVID.
Yeah.
So he did have COVID. He also had polyps on his lungs, and they were thinking that could have been something from that, but we have to remember, what was his job? He was a stonemasonry.
Oh,
so
that makes
he's
total
grinding on rocks and all of that, and that's what that's from.
If he's also having allergy pill or allergy shots weekly is what they were saying, it could be because of that as well.
Yes. So
or trying to get over it. That's probably why he was getting allergy shots so frequently.
Yes. So there was nothing on the external exam that indicated trauma to his body. He still had the hookups on from the defibrillator and the other machines they used.
Yeah.
And the blood and fluid coming out of his mouth was a very large point of contention in her testimony.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, the blood could have been caused by the tube going into his throat when they bagged him. It could have been from the overdose itself. It could have been just that it can't really be put with it because it was on the sheet that was underneath him that was used to pull him off the bed.
So,
but they don't know if they can't do anything with the blood on the sheet because since the sheet was underneath him while they were doing life-saving measures, they don't know if that was from tube out from doing this, doing that, if it was there before they got there.
I feel like I don't know. I don't know how bagging him, especially after he's already been dead for a while, is what they said. Like it could have been pulling in his throat if they happened to scratch his esophagus or something like that. But his blood's not pumping.
No, but as they're doing compressions,
it's pushing it out.
Pushing it out.
But if that's
and it happens, like they say that is something that does happen.
That's fair. It would have been more in the tube in the bag though.
But also, if that happened from their very first compression, it should have happened when Kouri was doing compressions herself.
Precisely.
And I think that's the defense was trying to prove that it meant something else, but the prosecution's like,
I think I'm just really trying to my brain is trying to figure this out, and I'm not getting it.
And so there was, I'm going to get more into the toxicology later that has to deal with the opioid F and how that breaks down and all that stuff there. Yeah. So with her, they had a small trace of antipsychotic, which is the quintiptin, which is Kouri's drug. Okay. That was in his system. There were 2 forms of the F opioid in his system, and since he wasn't taking any meds and there was no reason for it to be in his system, the medical examiner relied on family members, death investigators, and detectives to make her determination on his cause of death, which was drug intoxication by opioid F. His manner of death, though, could not be determined. And the manner of death, though, was marked undetermined because the medical examiner was retiring and thought that was the best way to wrap up her work on this case since the investigation was still ongoing. And this is after the defense has literally ragged on the fact that his manner was undetermined, and that means that they don't know what happened.
I feel like that's a really selfish thing to do. Oh, well, I'm retiring, and I want to just wrap up this investigation for them. Hello?
I feel like she should have retired, but waited for the investigation to be done, and then ruled on that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But So there is the medical examiners, and that's his manner.
Yeah.
His manner is by that. So when she rolled his manner of death, that's when they went ahead and went search warrant. And that's when the investigation officially really like took off, because at first it was just a suspicious death investigation, but now it was something that he'd never taken, didn't have a history with. And now they're searching.
Yeah. Like, I guess undetermined is still better than, oh, suicide. Oh, accidental. That's better than that.
So then they had Brie Lawson, who was a forensic tech and medical examiner investigator, and then Allison Christensen, and she was the autopsy assistant. I'm just letting you guys know, everybody who did testify, some of these witnesses were up on the stand for maybe 20 minutes, and it was just...
Jesus, I'm sorry.
They were up on the stand for like maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was just so that they could admit certain pieces of evidence or do certain things later. But they have to do it with these ones in order to do it with other ones in their testimony.
There's some people, I think I've seen some where they literally get sworn in, answer like 1 or 2 questions, and then they're like, all right, thanks. Yeah, like literally just to get evidence put into the case.
There was a good chunk of that in here, which is why, but I'm still telling you their names and doing that. And also there's a full breakdown of this day by day with all these pictures on the Facebook, because I've been giving you guys daily recaps.
That's how I've been finding out what's going on. And
then this badass, beautiful queen took the stand. Chelsea Gibson. Love her. Love her. She is the lead crime scene tech.
Oh, yeah.
She was present the day of the murder and was present for all search warrant executions of the house.
Period.
Like I said, there was 10 of those, even with one being 2 weeks before trial. During Chelsea's testimony, the prosecution presented a 3D rendering of the house, and we will show that right now while we're talking. They would show different versions of this 3D rendering, but each time it would have different color markers in it, like little circle dots, that showed where different evidence was found, so that they could do it. We also learned in her testimony that Eric's stash of THC gummies was kind of scattered all over the house. Most were located in items of clothing that belonged to Kouri. And not to mention that most of the prescription pill bottles found had Kouri's name on them, minus the hydrocodone that was from 2016 that had Eric's name on them that just was found near the body.
Hydrocodone?
Hydrocodone.
Oh.
Not Cozone.
I was like, what's
Hydrocodone.
that?
My bad. You'll understand why in a minute. You'll understand why. So many prescription drugs. Okay.
Yeah.
I personally like to call Chelsea's testimony show and tell testimony. Because she had a lot of evidence bags on the stand with her that she was opening and showing the jury. And during this time, Kouri's defense was trying very hard to keep Kouri's phones out of the trial.
Phones?
So remember, this first search warrant was executed a month after Eric died. And that's when they took her phone. But she wasn't arrested for another year. So that's when they took her second phone. Remember?
Got it. Yep, that makes total sense.
So, that ended day 2 of trial. Day 3 of trial only lasted an hour. Started with Chelsea Gibson. She was on the stand for an hour. The judge was like, hey guys, I tried to move this meeting. I have something from 9:30 to 10:30. I cannot move this. I can't get out of it. I can't do it. So they're like, we're just going to recess. And we came back at like 10:50 and he goes, all right, so court's recessed till 8:30 tomorrow. I have to handle something.
Period.
So we had no court really on Thursday.
Was it Thursday?
Or not Thursday, Wednesday. Day 3, Wednesday. Day 4 started off slow. We continued Chelsea Gibson's testimony, who's lead crime scene tech, and the defense couldn't play a 911 call for her because they couldn't figure out how to lay the foundation for it, which was nothing new for this defense. They have a problem trying to lay the foundation for things. They really do. Kathy Nestor, who did the defense's opening statements, even told Chelsea that she needed to be careful with her verbiage. So please match my language so we can do this. And they still couldn't lay the groundwork to get things submitted.
What the fuck does that mean?
It means that she's leading without leading.
Ugh, okay.
The judge then told the jury that they can't make any assumptions about whether Kouri was in jail or not during any part of this trial, because she was trying to get in phone calls that were recorded phone calls.
In jail?
Well, she said, well, what are you talking about? Private phone calls or... And that's when the judge stopped her and like had them come up and then address the jury and was like, hey, so they're not going to tell the jury at what points Kouri was in jail and when she wasn't.
Interesting.
And they're not allowed to assume.
Yeah. So the person who's talking about the calls is Chelsea, or the defense attorney.
Is the defense attorney. She's wanting to admit the calls and stuff, and she's the one who's like, just match my verbiage so that we can do this. I have to be very careful with how I say this, so just match my verbiage, if you will.
Also, you're a lawyer. Why can't you figure it the fuck out?
Yeah. And the defense went really hard on her for not photographing the kitchens, the sinks, going upstairs or downstairs the day that Eric died. But like I said earlier, this is where Chelsea really laid out. This is not a search warrant execution. This is a look around when he died to see what's around.
Surface level.
Yes. So, oh my God, they couldn't admit a lot of stuff with her because they couldn't figure out how to admit it. Yeah.
How frustrating.
Next up was Brianna Peterson, who's the forensics toxicologist.
Yeah.
And she testified that there was no THC in Eric's system. But what was present was... Okay, I do have to say this because acetafentanyl, which is found in illegal opioid F, not legal.
Yes,
opioid
that is
F.
probably prescribed from a doctor.
Yeah, the legal one. The anacetamol, that's the illegal.
Yeah.
That's found in the illegal version, not the legal medical version. There was norepinephrine in his system, which happens when the legal opioid F breaks down in your system. So there's basically two versions in there. One that is when your body's breaking it down, and then one when is found in the illegal form, not in the legal form. And then quetiapine or quetiapine, or y'all know what I'm saying. It's a quetiapine. Yeah, the defense couldn't say it either. Neither could prosecution. It's that one. I had a picture of it up here. Quetiapine, whatever. It was also found in his
say it one more time.
Quetiapine.
Say crack again.
It's like crystal jail, but quetiapine. I realized by the third time I said that, I got a little,
Little Asian.
Kim, Maya, that's for you.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
My hand is still cold from that touch.
This was prescribed to Kouri and was found in the master bedroom bathroom. Hers was toxicology and very much on all of the opioid F in his system and the different kinds that there were, and very much that there was not the legal medical version of it in his system. Then there were some more witnesses called just to be able to introduce certain pieces of evidence later. So we had Frank Root, who's a detective, Chane Ing-Tao, who's a digital forensics, and Brian Holden, who is a senior forensic scientist. After lunch, Carmen Luber took the stand. And she is the cleaning lady who bought the opioid F for Kouri.
Yeah.
And remember...
And provided it to her.
Yeah, remember in the affidavit when I kept saying CL and I thought it stood for cleaning lady? And then I found out in one of our updates that was literally her initials of Carmen Lauber. And I thought it meant cleaning lady. And so Court TV has labeled her the housekeeper, but I will always have her as cleaning lady in my head because I legitimately thought that's what it was. But then in an update, we got her real name and I figured it out. Anyway, so that's just all I think of. But let me tell you. Carmen, she is under immunity from the county, from like 2 different counties and the federal government to testify in this trial. She got up there on the stand and she owned her criminal past. She owned selling drugs, doing drugs, being an addict, drug court, all of this. She
Period.
now has been sober for 4 years.
Period.
She works with disabled adults and helping them and things like that. So she is very much, and she is very, very remorseful.
Yeah.
And for her role in this, and I found her very sincere.
I think that's the best way to go about this type of situation, because if she didn't come clean with her past, she would have been eaten alive. But then again, with her coming out about it, they're going to be like, oh, why would we trust a drug addict?
Yeah, we're going to get into that. So another thing that I want to say is that when asked why she was doing this, she said it's because it's the right thing to do. If that's what happened with what she sold Kouri, this is it. And we're going to get into why she started crying and felt so strongly about that. So I'm just going to go through some things that were in her testimony. And man, if you go and watch anybody's, it's a lot. It's like a day and a half of testimony. Go watch Carmen. Mm-hmm. Okay. The first time Kouri asked Carmen to purchase pain pills and more, stating that it was for an investor client. We knew that. The second time she asked for something stronger. Then the third time she asked for some of that Michael Jackson stuff. Y'all, I'm so happy it got brought up in trial because I was 90% sure that that was something that was said because it sounded so outrageous, and I saw it in affidavits, but it was real.
It was real.
It was real.
It was real.
It was so real. And the fence just kept repeating that line over and over, and it made me chuckle. Kouri also told Carmen that Eric died from a brain aneurysm. But days later, Carmen found out from a friend that he died from an overdose. Yeah. So, Wendy Lewis was the defense attorney who was cross-examining Carmen. And I hate her with a fiery passion. I don't like her. And I'm going to play a clip of her, and you guys aren't going to like her either in a second.
Period.
But she just absolutely berated Carmen on the stand. It was hard to watch at times, and she brought her to tears multiple times, bringing up the fact that she has a learning disability and that she didn't make it very far in school. They brought up the fact that her daughter has OD'd multiple times on the opioid F, which wasn't necessary. None of this was. No. And was just, I feel like it was working against them. Because it made Carmen cry, she also explained why she was adamant about not messing around with the opioid F. She didn't know much about it. And she stayed away from it because of her daughter. Mm-hmm. So, the first drug deal was with Susan for $600 worth of pain pills. The other 3 drug deals were with Robbie for Roxy's and something stronger, which we then found out was opioid F. And I will talk more about his testimony here in a minute. And those second 2 transactions, 2 or 3, they were all over $1,000. Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy.
For each of those transactions. And in fact, we found out that one of those deals was after Eric died. Remember when we were really confused about the times and backdating a check and all of that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that gets brought up in here. And Carmen has no idea why the check was backdated. I have a picture of the check. Yeah.
Period.
It's crazy. But I heard and hear some rumors that that Kouri's boyfriend Josh was a user as well, and that drug deal afterwards was for him.
Huh. Josh.
Right.
I can't wait for your testimony, bud.
So, Wendy Lewis continued to berate Carmen about her being an addict, her history in drug court, and just so unnecessarily makes the comment, well, yeah, because addicts lie.
I fucking told you.
And Carmen snapped back, active addicts lie. And the judge allowed it to stay. He didn't strike it. He didn't address the jury. It wasn't quiet. No one said anything. And I was like...
Also, this judge, I like a lot.
So I want to play you this clip of Wendy just being a bitch. But listen very carefully to what she mumbles underneath her breath after the objection. I can't stand her. Like, I don't understand. Like, there's no... I'll ask it nicer.
Oh, yes.
You did. You said, write it all down, I'll sign it.
They wanted me to write it, and I didn't want to write.
No, they didn't want you to write it. You asked them to write it all down for you, and you'll sign it. Because to their credit, they said, well, no, that's not how this works.
Your Honor, objection.
To what?
I'd be a little bit more specific.
That wasn't a question, that was testimony and argument.
No,
It
the
is
question.
argumentative.
All right. I'll say it in a nicer tone.
You
They-
have to ask a question.
They told you, or I'm sorry, you told them, write it all down and I will sign it, correct?
I asked if they could write down my statement, yes.
Right. You asked them to write it all down.
Like, she was like that the entire time. She brings up Carmen's learning disability and then slaps like 4 binders this big in front of her and makes her read all these paragraphs and do all this stuff. And it's just, she's just mean and like so like condescending, and it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard
There was
to watch.
a lot of comments about it.
Yes. So while Wendy Lewis was going hard on the exact details of the drop-off and exchanging of drugs and money and where they were, and nitpicking discrepancies from a year after the murder to now 4 years later in her stories, like, it was like beating a dead horse at one point with, like, how many times she was asking the same thing over and over. But we had some really great facial expressions out of Kouri at this part when Carmen is telling the court and the jury about how she handed Kouri came to her house to pick up pills in the driveway. So enjoy this.
The question is, what did you do with the pills?
I had them with me.
Did you hold on to them?
Yes, I did.
For how long?
I had given Nancy a couple for taking me because that was her drug of choice at the time. Not very long.
What did you do with them?
I reached out to Kouri and asked her what she wanted me to do with them because I didn't like having them on me.
What did she respond?
That she would come pick them up.
Did she?
Yes, she did.
Where did she pick them up?
In my house, in Heber, in my driveway. She picked them up in my house, in my driveway, in Heber.
Okay, so we've been through the first.
I think she was on the stand from like 12:30 to like 5 that day. And just, it was hard to watch. But she has a lot of the affidavit from the beginning, the arrest affidavit and her timeline. There is another clip that I want to play for you guys that the defense played while Carmen was on the stand, and it is basically of the detectives giving her immunity. And I will say that this is probably the first piece of evidence that looks really bad for the prosecution.
Yeah.
And we have to be unbiased in this, and you know how I feel about Kouri. You know what my thoughts are on this. But this is not looking good.
No.
So here's where it's at with McKay and your drug court, okay? They are looking for, and this is going to be upsetting, but let me finish. They're looking to pull your drug court deal and ask for 7 years on your 2 firsts. 5 years for the one felony, and then a 40% portion for the second for 7 years. The only exception to that, and the only thing that they're willing to kind of help you out with, is if you can help us out with this.
And by so, he means like, give us the details that will ensure Kouri gets convicted of murder.
So that's what they said to you.
Yes. Yes.
And let me just identify a couple of people here. The first person.
So, like, I didn't know that detectives, like, now I can believe a little bit more when people are like, they legitimately told me to put him away if I did this. Like, that was, like, flat out, like, please tell us that you did all of this in order to get this.
Yeah.
So, and also I want to do on the thing with, in the video with her facial expressions, Kouri's, when they're asking Carmen about writing her statement out, she has a learning disability.
Yeah.
She did not go past 6th grade, really, I think is what I was taking for this. She started using in 6th grade, so she probably got through, like, maybe middle school.
Do you want to know how old you are in 6th grade?
12. 11 or 12. Nicole was 11 and then turned 12.
I started 6th grade when I was 10.
Yeah. So...
because I was born in December.
This was a lot to write out. There was a lot to this. So she was simply asking them to write what she was saying, so she didn't have to write it all and turn it in. And the defense was making it sound like...
11.
Yeah. And
sorry.
The defense was making it sound like she wanted them to write the statement and then she'd sign it.
Yeah.
But, like, we're not dumb. We understand what she was saying. But she, like, literally focused on that for 20 minutes and I wanted to smack her.
Did.
Okay.
It was just another little belittling tactic of theirs.
It really was. At the end of day 4, I have never seen this in a trial before, and I just was a little wild. After the jury was dismissed, the judge addressed a note that was passed to a bailiff by a juror. And I'm going to play that video for you because...
it's wild.
It's wild.
Ms. Liz, Ms. Nestor, I'd like to make a record regarding the note from the jury, the action we took. Any objection?
No objection.
Note from the jury.
The note regarding the jury,
Oh, I understand. Thank you.
not from the jury.
Okay.
I think this was written by a juror.
Oh, I had understood.
Yeah, this was passed out from a juror. So, during an afternoon recess, a juror passed a note to one of the bailiffs that read, quote, Judge, I'm having a little trouble with handwriting, so bear with me here. Are there members of the audience in the courtroom that are sketching members of the jury? Question mark. Is that allowed without consent? Question mark. It is distracting and a concern. Please advise. In response to this note, court staff confirmed that there was a member of the spectators that was in fact sketching jurors and identifying the sketches by juror number. That sketchbook was confiscated. The sketches of the jurors were removed from the sketchbook. That person has been removed as a spectator, will not be allowed back in. We cannot have anyone doing anything to identify the jurors in any way. And then the jurors were informed by a bailiff, not by me, that we responded in that way, so they do not have to speculate about whether that's continuing. Okay. Mr. Bloodworth, anything further?
How dumb do you have to be sketching within sight of them? To even just be doing it, not even inside of them, but like, why are you doing this? Like, you releasing jurors and who they are is a mistrial. I mean, I know why, but I'm trying to not speculate here.
I'll say it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
It would be a pretty cool mistrial move right there, but that's just so interesting.
That's not where my head went.
Where?
My head was instantly like, depending on what happens, we could go and put a green light on these fucking jurors.
Okay.
That's where my head went.
I just went with outing jurors and then making this result in a mistrial like while it's being tried.
You're nicer than me. I instantly thought they were going to get murdered.
Okay, well, all right.
Which would also lead to...
She got a little dark there.
That's what I do. I'm
all right.
the dark one.
So, day 5, Friday, we spent the morning watching Wendy Lewis continue to grill Carmen until lunchtime. After which they decided to keep her on standby for more testimony because they can't lay foundation. Yeah. Well, okay, no. Let me start that over. Okay, so they are keeping her on standby for more testimony because the prosecution tried to admit 900 pages of transcript. And the defense objected to it because there's too much hearsay in it. And the prosecution was like, well, y'all just cherry pick statements out of 900 pages of interviews and use them up here. So we need to be able to submit everything to show that your cherry pick statements don't mean that she's lying or that her statements are inconsistent. And they were like, well, we haven't had time to go through all this to take out all the hearsay and redact it. And I'm like, what the heck? So I guess they're going to come back and revisit that. But it's just
4
crazy.
Years. Hello?
Yeah. So
you literally have a giant team that does that for you.
They just don't want all of it in there because the jury will have access to all of it and realize that they cherry pick statements to make it sound like she's lying about everything and to make her seem like an incredible witness.
I hate to say it, I think she's probably going to be the most credible witness of this.
Oh yeah, that's the
besides
major
medical
consensus.
people.
That is the major consensus that like their berating of her and like calling her drug addict and doing all that is not good for them.
There's a reason she got immunity to do it.
So after lunch, Anna Isabel took the stand, and she was a treat, y'all. You wanna?
Oh, she was the friend.
Yeah, you call her that. You want to talk about somebody who doesn't want to be there?
Yeah.
And I don't blame her after seeing some of the text messages from the detectives to her. But she was basically Kouri's handyman, Hayden Jeff's wife. And she was testifying about a phone call between Hayden and Kouri talking about getting the F opioid for a client. And Hayden was saying, fuck no, and fuck that client, and fuck this, I'm not doing it. And then Kouri just dropped it with him. So we're putting evidence in there that Kouri was asking multiple people for this. The defense tried to prove that she was coerced into being there because
who was trying to...
The defense saying that she was coerced to being in there because of the text messages from detectives, which were pretty, like...
valid.
Yeah, they were like, if you don't, like, you're not answering our phone calls, like, next time I'm showing up to your door with, like, a warrant and, like, a catch for your dog, and, like, she was like, can I just show up on the day of? Like, I don't need to meet with you to prep you guys. And they're like, well, if you would have answered any of our phone calls, like, it was pretty abrasive.
That's valid. I'm gonna do another devil's advocate here, though. Like, there are things, especially if you're gonna be a witness, you need to be prepped for. Like, and it's not like you need to say this, you need to say this. No, they're like, you can't talk about X, Y, and Z. Or you have to make sure you don't say a defendant's name a certain way. Like, things like that. Like, it's not just, we need to tell you what to say kind of planning. And if she's literally ignoring them for how long, I can understand why they're frustrated. Like, you're supposed to be a witness.
But you could also just be a little bit not like that.
Valid. That's totally valid. But at the same time, if you were subpoenaed to be a fucking witness, guess what? That's not coercion.
What she was doing, like, I mean, she was doing it, but she just didn't care to meet with them or talk to them before. She was just going to show up and do it. And then she, like, asked what day she was supposed to be there, and they were like, well, if you would have answered any of our phone calls, we'd tell you, so just plan on being there every day at 8 a.m.
Period. I mean, I'm good.
Yeah. But no, she was like, she was not about it on that stand.
I understand you don't want to be there, but, like, you still have to cooperate with a homicide investigation.
Yes.
Sorry, not sorry. Be a fucking adult.
Yeah.
I don't care how mean someone was to you. This is a legal thing
she
of
also
someone's
really didn't
life.
want to talk about her dead boyfriend.
That's fair. That's a valid thing.
Yeah, there was that. Like, they asked him, like, she said something, and then she was like, mm-hmm. And they're like, we need you to say it out loud. And she goes, I can't say that out loud without crying, so.
That's fair. That part I understand. But everything else.
Yeah.
Babe, welcome to the American legal system.
So then we had Robert Crozier. Robbie. You know, the other?
Yeah. I was like, who's that?
So he's a drug dealer who sold the opioid F to Carmen,
to give to Kouri.
And he is also testifying under immunity in Salt Lake City and from the federal government. Listen, he is your standard grade A drug dealer. Okay, I need you to know he's on the stand in a pink button-up.
Oh my
sleeve,
God.
Okay, and his tie. And he's sitting there.
I have a feeling he was wearing jeans. And
he was
like DC shoes.
I didn't see his shoes, but I saw the jeans. So,
I'm sorry. He probably also had one of those like fabric white belts that had the two holes in it.
So, on the stand, I can't. Okay, I love drug dealers. Okay, I love them.
Jackie,
no, listen. He keeps saying, like I told these detectives, I sold oxycodone, not Oxycontin. They kept just saying Oxycontin. And I kept correcting them, but they still put oxycodone on the statement. He sat on the stand and told them, I made corrections to the statement for them, and they still didn't fix it. The defense attorney even said, oh yeah, we did fix that, but I did put Oxycontin instead of oxycodone. He goes, I've never sold that. It's like, get it straight. These are the drugs I sold. Like,
I didn't sell that shit.
And he knew the pills were what they were because he was getting them from people who were actually getting them prescribed to him, and he was using his own prescription that he was selling.
Hold on, are Oxycontin and oxycodone literally two different drugs?
Yes.
Are you dead ass with me?
Dead serious.
Clearly, I don't know that much.
Yes.
Yikes.
For some reason, these detectives and attorneys don't have an understanding of different drug types.
Me neither.
They were confusing witnesses, they were confusing the judge and themselves. I can't even imagine how the jury was feeling about it, all right? Wendy lives in this make-believe world. Wendy Lewis, the defense attorney.
She lives in the world of delusion.
She does. That drug prices are the same across the board, and that there is no way he charged this much for opioid F because it was cheaper then.
Is she serious?
Mm-hmm. Like, oh yeah, dead serious. She kept bringing it up multiple times to Carmen. Like, she even told Carmen, you're not a very good drug dealer because you just took the $600 from Kouri and gave it to him and brought back this. And she goes, well, Nicole, who drove me, I gave her a couple pills because that was her drug of choice at the time, and I had to give her something for taking me. And, like, it was just really funny because I really sure could have seen Kouri's face on that to know that Kouri got shorted. Anyway. But, like, first of all, Carmen's not a drug dealer. She's the middleman.
Yeah.
She literally was just the connection.
I hate to say it. She was the mule.
Yeah, she wasn't going to make money off it. Like, you can sell it for, like, lady, you can sell it for whatever you want. There's a homie hookup. There's a street price. Then there's a, you're an asshole and I hate you, but I still want to make money price. I mean, come on now.
What does
There's
she
different
think?
prices.
There's tariffs on certain drugs now.
Or
what the fuck?
This isn't Walmart price checking for you to make sure you get the same deal. You can't say, well, this dude down the street sells it for this much. Can you
Here's
match
a
it?
coupon for my drugs.
Here's my Good RX coupon.
What the fuck? Okay.
So, it just... And then she's like, well, you don't remember the exact date and how you did this deal and that you did it with this. And he was like, no. Like, and same thing with Carmen. I was like, listen, people do not keep exact records of their drug dealings and when and how they happen. Like, she was nitpicking Carmen over, well, you said Nicole was driving, but in this picture, you're clearly in the driver's seat. Nicole's in the passenger seat. I'm not kidding.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So,
I also feel like now might also be a good time to mention, generally drug dealers are not sober. Why the fuck would they remember?
Yes. So another thing I want to bring up is at this point in time, what was happening, that was a very high peak for people overdosing on opioid F, remember? And people were scared. And there's a lot of things about testing all your drugs and doing all your stuff. It got explained in this trial what was happening. Roxy 30s. Oxycodones. Roxy 30s. That is their street name. The coloring on Roxy 30s is a light blue coloring, I believe. Light blue or light green, if I say this correctly. Y'all can correct me if you watch the trial or whatever. If you watch the trial, you understand why I'm doing this. When opioid F came out, they were pressing it to look like Roxy 30s. So that's why there's a lot of accidental overdoses, because people thought they were picking up Roxys, and they were actually picking up opioid F. So there is a question here about, at this time, when he said something stronger, they weren't saying opioid F to each other. There's a potential that these were pressed mixed, or pressed something else, where he was getting it from. So they're also like, the defense isn't really focusing on that could be the thing, but grade A drug dealer Robbie, he made sure we knew. Like, he explained all of that out, and that's what
He's the one that explained that?
He explained that out on the stand about how everyone was getting scared, and there was this, and there was that, and this was when it was starting to be a switch, and because they initially started pressing it to look like the Roxys.
Got it.
Which, that really does explain that time period.
It explains a lot, because it was bad.
Yes.
It was a scary time period.
And that's why it was so bad, was because they made it to look like the most popular illegal drug at the moment.
Makes sense.
Right? Learn something new every day.
Right? So much sense.
So, the second to last witness on the stand Friday. We are not going to say his name because of what happened, because what we think is going on with it. But he was a narcotics officer. He was on there for about 5 or 10 minutes explaining his background in narcotics, explaining how every street level drug deal can connect back to a drug ring. And as he was starting to go through how that works, the judge called counsel to the bench. And within like a minute, he addressed Court TV and said, I need you to stop your transmission, audio and video, and they cut it out. Not long after this, the entire live went to a private video, disappeared, and they brought us back up with a part 2.
Yeah.
I did not check this morning to see if part 1 is out there and re-released without him. There was, I was in the Court TV comments when the video switched to private, and a lot of people were speculating he is an undercover officer. His appearance would also make sense with that, or he would be leading into being undercover with narcotics and other things. So we do not have his testimony out of respect for whatever that was that's happening. We are not going to post this picture like we have with everybody else. I'm not even going to say his name because...
Out of respect for him, his job, his family, his safety.
And
just
this
in
trial
case.
as well. And also, I don't want to get sued. But most importantly, all the other things. So I do want to add in that we did have that. I would love to know what was in that testimony.
I have a feeling that they might be able to bring him back without putting him on camera.
They needed to just, but they
could probably mute out names, things like that, which, especially if he's a credible witness, they still may do, because we've seen plenty of trials where like kids get up on stands or things,
and they just they don't do the video of it.
Correct. Or like they'll just show the video. It happened during Letitia, I'm pretty sure, where
it happened with It happened Natalie Cochran's son. We only
Something
saw the
like that.
daughter on the stand.
I'm,
It was somebody.
Gosh, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But they will just show the defendant. Or generally just that, or the person
Yeah.
speaking. But they won't show the witness out of respect and safety. So he could possibly come back.
I don't think that we're going to see him back in any of this. And if we do, I don't think his testimony will be heard, or they've cut the audio and the video for it. So I don't think we're ever going to get what his testimony was. But we're also not the jury, so we don't need it.
Correct. But maybe the jury will get it.
Oh, the jury will get it. They continued with the testimony.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they continued his testimony because Court TV had it put up. This is audio and video. Testimony currently going on. We will be back soon.
Got it.
And it says no audio or video allowed of testimony. We will be back soon. And then the video went to private, and then they popped up with a new one. So I think they had to delete out what they already had in there on the first one before they re-release it.
Probably. I would love to know what's in
yes. The last person that they had was Marco Garakokia?
Wow.
I don't. Yeah, even after he spelled his name, he goes, "You can just call me Marco. It's fine." He is with the Salt Lake County DA's office.
Okay.
And basically, I was like, why are we bringing him up here? And then I heard the magical word. I heard it. And you guys are going to be saying this with me in next week's recap. He was brought in to basically admit into all of the phones extracted evidence through Celebrite. So basically what he did was he got the phones. He had to repair one of them because it had cracked screen and water damage. And then he repairs the phones. He takes the extracted data and he puts it into a tool, a programming tool called Celebrate, which takes all of that extracted data and makes it readable. And that means that on Monday, we're going to start with Celebrate data. We're going to start with phones and text messages and Kouri and Eric. No, I'm so excited.
That was yesterday, by the way, so you should probably have a recap of it today.
Oh, yes. This is... Yeah, I'm sorry.
We're
releasing
recording
this on
on
Tuesday.
Saturday.
You're only one day behind trial. We're going to get into that in a moment. But yes, I'm really excited about it. Personally, my takeaways from this first week of trial is Kouri's team is going for the Casey Anthony look in how Kouri is dressed. Kouri has a horrible poker face. Anxiety, fear, and smugness sit on her face in rotating form. And
honestly, that some of the faces she was making to Carmen, though, I was just like, that's not... That seemed a little...
Oh, her
like
thoughts are on her
threatening face.
And the defense's only defense at this point is, when in doubt, create reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
That is it. That is their whole defense at this point.
That's all they need. They need one person to have reasonable doubt.
Wendy and Kathy act like they have never done this before, with the arrogance of someone who is the best at it. Those are the defense attorneys. The amount of time the judge had to correct them, tell them to lay a foundation, tell them they can't do something or how to do something, it feels like amateur hour at best. And I never thought in a million years I would rather listen to the Penguin Man from Natalie Cochran's trial than to listen to this defense team.
We didn't like him either.
The prosecution, I wish, would speak up more and object. We had an entire day where I don't think they objected once. And the way they sat back and just let Wendy berate Carmen just absolutely floored me. They did have their one objection, but that was very much at the end of her testimonies.
Yeah. I wonder if they maybe did that on purpose to...
Just let her go.
To show what lengths the defense is trying to go to.
I'm wondering if the jury was also not reacting well to it.
Maybe.
So the prosecution was just allowing it.
Probably. Like, if you are uncomfortable, if other people, all of the comments of how uncomfortable they were with her belittling her, the jury probably felt it. And they probably were like, keep this shit rolling, brother.
Yeah. So.
Speculation here.
Speculating. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm just excited for what's coming because
there's a lot more to this.
If this was just the first week of it.
Oh, and we have so much more evidence coming. Like, because we talked, and if you haven't listened to our deep dive, go back and listen to that. I'm going to have it linked below.
It's been linked in all of our recaps as well.
Yes, and all of these pictures, yes, we're flashing pictures up in this video, but for those of you listening, it is in separated posts, day 1, day 2 mini recap on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
And then for this episode, I don't know if I'm going to do a whole like picture drop for everything. I might do like a collage of the text messages and some other stuff, but you can go back through. After day 2, Court TV started to love all of us and eventually put the names of the witnesses on there. So day 2 is where it starts that all the witnesses' names are on the pictures. Day 1, it's not. I'm going to go back and label those though. But you have everybody on that stand.
Yeah.
There's screen records. I'm going to get that body cam footage going. Please keep the Facebook discussions coming.
Oh my gosh.
Day 5 trial post. I post out the live court TV video every single morning before trial starts. Trial starting at 8:30 Mountain Time, which is 8:30 Colorado time for y'all. I hate having a trial on our time zone because I like East Coast trials because I get 2 hours ahead before I get to work. It's nice.
Yeah.
Bear with me. I am giving you mini recaps the morning after because I'm generally still listening to an hour of trial when I wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I work 9:30 to 7, Monday through Thursday. So I'm listening to this before work, on my breaks, at night, getting it done for you guys. If you enjoyed this recap, hopefully we might try to do a weekly one. It might just be me. I might have my sister join me. It might be me and Sam. Mm-hmm. But I am going to try to put out a weekly recap. Honestly, it might hit on a Sunday.
And if for some reason we're not able to, obviously we're going to get together once trial's over and actually
talk about the
it.
end of it and the big key points and have like one really big wrap up that I don't go through all the witnesses. I don't go through all that. So you might just get me in a recap. You might just get me and my sister. You might get me and Sam. But I am going to try to bring you a weekly recap every week. But I am going to have those daily recaps on our Facebook page. So please go look at that.
Yep.
Like I said, I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting.
She's been waiting. And I remember like a week. It was like the Thursday or Friday before, she like texted me and she's like, so Kouri Richins starts trial on Monday. And I'm like, what? She's like, yeah.
So it's been a great time watching trial. It has been a little slow. It has been a little boring, but I knew that's what some of these witnesses were going to be because we have to admit stuff. But yeah, tell me what you guys think. I want to know about it. I'm going to have a discussion post up for week 1 of trial that goes out today as well. Get caught up on yesterday's trial. Hopefully if you're listening to this in the morning, go listen to part 2, or not part 2, go listen to day 2. This is day 2 of this week now. Day 7 of trial.
6
would be on Tuesday.
Tuesday's day 7
is trial. So yeah, that's all I got.
I'm here for the ride.
She is. She gets angry updates about me about Wendy Lewis because listen,
actually some of the comments have been pretty funny.
I love a good defense attorney. Make me hate you because you're good at your job.
Yep.
Make me hate you because you are making me think we're going to lose this case because you're so good at your job.
And because they're planting the reasonable doubt in your cabeza.
Don't be incompetent.
Don't be a fucking asshole.
Yeah. Like just have some humanity. I don't know. Ugh.
Just because someone was a drug dealer doesn't mean that they're not a person.
Exactly. Or a drug addict. People change. People get sober.
Hell yeah, they do.
And their past doesn't define them. But how you treat them defines you.
Period.
So, on that note, make sure you follow us everywhere that you can watch and listen. Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Audible, all of it.
We're everywhere, man.
We're everywhere. Follow us on all of our socials at Justice4Podcast. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok. We've been really active on TikTok lately. There's been some bloopers.
We've been trying.
And also that's probably where I'm going to put out the body cam footage on YouTube. And I can put out some clips of that on TikTok as well. I'll put that out for you guys. Yeah, check out our website. It has resources, submit a case, all the pictures from this trial.
On our website, you can also submit a case if you want. We do have a handful of them that we are starting to work through. There's a couple of them, we've already said this before, we can't do yet, whether it be we're in contact with family or other things happening, and they have requested for us to put it off. So all of the other ones, though, we're working through it. We've just been hella busy. Hella busy.
Super busy. And this trial is going to consume me for the next month as well.
My life is hopefully starting to slow down a little bit in the next couple of weeks. We'll see how it goes. So life is lifing, y'all.
But just make sure you're followed and subscribed so that when we do put out these recaps, you're notified because it might be outside of our normal release schedule and you don't want to miss it.
Yep. And we also have, I know we've mentioned a live show in the works.
Yes.
It's not just one anymore. It could be 2 live shows.
Okay.
You literally showed me the email this morning.
Oh, I didn't know we were actually talking about that. I mean, yeah. So we have live shows in the work. Once we're thinking about the second or third week, or third or fourth week of April.
I think this is the third
week of April. It's going to be on a Friday night. We're going to give you guys some more details soon. We're just kind of working those out.
And we're working out details with another one as well.
Yeah.
So things are happening. We're not slowing down by any means. So we also have season 3 coming up.
And we've got some really big, really cool ideas for that. Yeah, we cannot wait to share with you guys.
Yes, things are happening in great ways. And it is mostly in part of you guys being so supportive of us.
Yes.
So thank you.
Thank you. All right. I think this has been long enough.
I agree. Next week is also going to be long. We'll catch you then, though. Make sure you're here. I should really stop threatening people so much.
You should. Okay.
Okay. Love you guys. See you next week. Okay. Love you. Bye.